Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today my question to you is, what do you think is the best year in Doctor Who's history? For Doctor Who. Or the most important year in Doctor Who history. What do you think is the greatest year in Doctor Who history? From 1963 all the way through 2025, I want to know if you had to pick Doctor Who's best year, what year would you pick and why? And there's a lot of choices here. I think some people might pick 1963 just because that's the year the show came out. Some people might pick 1966 because they're big Troughton fans and that's the first regeneration. Some people might pick 1988 because they love season 25, or 1996 because they're huge fans of the TV movie and they were really excited when the TV movie came out. Or 2005 because Doctor Who came back. 2008 because they liked Series 4 a lot. 2007 because I liked Series 3 a lot. Or even 2013 simply because they loved all of the hype around Doctor Who for the 50th anniversary and how popular the show was at the time. It was a global event. Big deal, the 50th anniversary. I want to know what you think is Doctor Who's best year. For me, this is actually a very easy choice. Very easy. I didn't even have to think about it. I knew as soon as I thought, what year is it? The answer came to my head almost immediately, and I'm like, yeah, I got to do a video to talk about that. For me, I think Doctor Who's best year is 1975. Because what did we get in 1975? We got most of Season 12 and most of Season 13 in the same year. Because that is, of course, when Doctor Who switched from starting in the spring to starting in the fall. Think about what came out in 1975 for Doctor Who. Seasons 12 and 13 are two of the strongest seasons the show has ever put out. I would argue season 13 is the greatest season the show has ever put out, in classic or modern Who. I'd argue that season 12 could be the second best. And so you have the GOAT Doctor, you have the Fourth Doctor, you have Tom Baker, the greatest Doctor of all time, I think several people would agree with. You have Sarah Jane Companion, I cannot talk today. You have Sarah Jane Smith, the arguably greatest companion of all time, and the Doctor and Sarah are a great TARDIS team. And then for season 12, you also have Harry, who is also a wonderful addition. And then we have a couple episodes, excuse me, with the Brigadier as well. So you have most of Robot. The first episode of Robot did come out in December of 74, but the rest of Robot came out in January of 75. So we have most of Robot, we have the Ark in Space, we have the Sontaran Experiment, we have Genesis of the Daleks, we have Revenge of the Cybermen, which you guys know I love Revenge of the Cybermen. And I think most of you would agree that the location work in the caves for Revenge is very well done. Great to see them get location work like that. The only 70s Cyberman story. Then we also have Terror of the Zygons, Planet of Evil, Pyramids of Mars, and the Android Invasion that came out in 1975. Now, after the Android Invasion, there was a break for the Christmas season, and the Brain of Morbius and the Seeds of Doom we got early in 76, so they technically count as 76. But getting 3/4 of Robot all the way through the Android Invasion, we got all of those stories in the same year. We got all of those stories in a 1-year span. That is phenomenal. Some of the greatest Doctor Who television of all time. Some of the greatest Doctor Who stories of all time. And we got them in the same year. Because again, Doctor Who had been starting in the spring. They switched to wanting to start the new season in the fall. I think most of us know Terror of the Zygons was originally filmed to end season 12. That was supposed to be the season finale for season 12. It was filmed as part of the season 12 production block. But when they realized that they were going to start broadcasting in the fall sooner than they originally expected, they held over Terror of the Zygons to start season 13, where it tonally fits in, honestly, better. And that's why season 12 is shorter. Most of the 70 seasons are 24 to 26 episodes, whereas season 12 is 20 episodes, because it is a little shorter. But knowing that we get so much quality content in the same year. Can you name any other year in Doctor Who where you get a run of stories this good? Banger after banger after banger after banger. There are no bad stories here. None. I'm not saying all of them are masterpieces. I'm not saying that. They're not all S tier. But they're all not just good, really good. Let's look at them. Robot. I don't know too many people who dislike Robot. They don't think it's Genesis. But I think Robot's good. I don't think it's the best post-regeneration story. It's my personal favorite, but I don't think it's the best. But it is a nice kind of last hurrah for the Pertwee era. It does feel like a Pertwee story, just with a different Doctor. And it's nice to see UNIT kind of one last time as the main regulars. Ark in Space is a classic. Most people agree. Ark in Space is a classic story. It's kind of Alien before Aliens. It is one of those S-tier stories. Sontaran Experiment you don't hear much about, but it is one of the better Sontaran stories. It's neat that it's shot all on location, even though it is one of those rare stories pre-season 23 that was shot outside on videotape, which is a little sad. But it's still a good story, and it's only a two-parter. Sontaran Experiment does a really good job of knowing it's a two-parter that only needs to be a two-parter. But it's a good two-parter. I don't hear too many people talk bad about it. Genesis of the Daleks, bona fide classic. It is the story that classic Doctor Who fans keep in their back pocket whenever modern Doctor Who fans try to talk about how they have the greatest Doctor Who stories ever. That is the story that classic Who fans will be like, oh yeah, boom, here's my Genesis of the Daleks card. That is the story. It is, if you're a modern Doctor Who fan who doesn't watch the classic series, it is the story you're going to hear about the most. It's the one that's going to come up in conversation. It is one of the greatest Doctor Who stories of all time, period. I don't think too many people would argue with me on this. Revenge of the Cybermen is the interesting one. That is the one I could see maybe some people not liking, but I don't know if they actually think it's bad or if they just don't think it's very good. It seems to just kind of be there in the middle. Just kind of a decent story. Now, I love Revenge of the Cybermen. I know other people who do too. I think Tom Baker is great in it. I like that he's not having any of the Cybermen crap in it. I love the Cybermen design. I enjoy the story. I think the sets look good. I love the reuse of Nerva Beacon and how that mirrors with Ark in Space. And it's got some really good dialogue. I think it's a good story. Not the best Cybermen story. The best Cybermen story of the 70s, I guess. But, you know, but it's still a good Cybermen story. I sometimes prefer it over Earthshock. I think Earthshock is objectively better, but I think I prefer Revenge over it. Depends on my mood. And then you have Terror of the Zygons, which is typically considered a masterpiece, one of Doctor Who's greatest stories, for good reason. It's well shot, well acted. The Zygons are good creatures. Easily the best Zygon story we've ever gotten. And Tom is fantastic in it. And then we have Planet of Evil. And Planet of Evil, I think, is usually considered really good. The people might call it one of the lesser stories of season 13, but let's also admit that in most other seasons of Doctor Who, it would be one of the standouts. So, like, if it was in season 16, season 17, or if it was an 80s story, it'd be one of the standouts. The only reason Planet of Evil gets a little overlooked is because it's literally sandwiched between two classics, as it comes between Terror of the Zygons and Pyramids of Mars. But I mean, think about how many Jodie Whittaker episodes or Ncuti Gatwa episodes would you rank higher than Planet of Evil? Honestly, tell me in the comments how many of them you would put higher on a ranking list than Planet of Evil. Planet of Evil is great. First off, the jungle set. Oh yeah, that jungle set's amazing. I think we're all going to be in agreement here. That jungle set is one of the best looking sets in all of classic Doctor Who. It looks phenomenally good. I also like the set for the starship too, especially the bridge with the multiple levels. I love the special effects of the kind of creature that looks like the id from Forbidden Planet. There's definitely some Forbidden Planet borrowing going on here in terms of aesthetics there. And then I love the Jekyll and Hyde of the kind of werewolf professor. I think that's done really well. And I like the fact he survives at the end, that he gets freed from that. I do enjoy that. It's just a well-put-together story. Also, of course, Elizabeth Sladen and Tom Baker are on fire, as they always are. Really good story. Then you have Pyramids of Mars. It's Pyramids of Mars. One of the top 10 greatest Doctor Who stories of all time. Yet again, with one of the best villains ever in Doctor Who. And yes, I know Empire of Death is a huge disappointment. But are we really going to try to compare Empire of Death with Pyramids of Mars? Pyramids of Mars is phenomenal. The acting, the pacing, the guest cast, everything comes together with a perfect storm. The effects look good. The ending is phenomenal. And I love the fact that the only reason the Doctor wins is because of Sutek's arrogance. The fact he doesn't really consider the Doctor a threat and more like the way we consider a pesky fly to be a nuisance and an annoyance. And the Doctor outsmarts him. He beats him with this, his brain. He outsmarts him. I love that ending. It's one of my favorite endings in all of Doctor Who, and they really shouldn't have screwed with it. Pyramids of Mars is a legendary classic for a reason, and its omnibus repeat back in the 70s is some of the highest viewing figures Doctor Who has ever gotten, with over 13 million, rightfully so. And then we also have the Android Invasion, which, much like Planet of Evil, might be considered the weak link of Season 13, one of the lesser stories, but that's only because it's in Season 13. Again, like Planet of Evil, Android Invasion and other seasons would be one of the standouts. You plop that bad boy in Season 16, 17, or 18, boom, it's one of the standouts. I mean, it's not going to be better than City of Death, but it's still going to be a standout for Season 17. You plop it into Season 1, or it's Season 1, Shooty-Gatwa Season 1, and immediately that season gets better. I may actually put Dot and Bubble above it, but I really love Dot and Bubble. But immediately that season gets better, just because Android Invasion is a great story. Very much kind of homaging Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Tom putting in a good performance. Sarah putting in a good performance. Great to see Benton back as well. Great to see Harry back as well. Really, the only gaping hole there is the Brigadier not being there, and then the guy having the eye patch, and I still don't understand why he has an eye patch when his eye is fine. That's a little weird. There's a couple clunky things going on there. But it's still a great story. Not just a good story, a great story. So you have this run of episodes from Part 2 of Robot through the Android Invasion, all in the same year. All in 1 year. Not a bad episode in the bunch. Not a bad story at all. You name me any other year in Doctor Who that has a run like that. Series 4 of modern Doctor Who is not as good as that run. And Series 4 of Doctor Who is good, but it is not as good as that run. Series 1 is good. Series 1 is not as good as that run. There is no year in Doctor Who that just has a run of Doctor Who episodes to equal that, where you have most of 12 and most of 13 right there together in 1975. So for me, easy. Easy. Nothing even comes close. And there's a lot of great years for Doctor Who, but that one is just pole vaulted into the lead there. It's got a nice lead on it for having such a good quality of episodes with arguably the greatest Doctor of all time, arguably the greatest companion of all time, arguably the greatest TARDIS teams of all time. 1975 wins hands down for me. Every day. Every day. So I want to know what you think of my reasoning and what year you would pick. Comment down below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon down there, and lost my train of thought. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Unknown289, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. Always nice to see someone new join the Patreon as well. That does help me keep bills paid. A link to the Amazon wish list is down there. A link to the Amazon UK wish list is down there as well. I have fixed that recently. Some people had let me know they were having some trouble sending stuff through the UK link, but I do have that fixed now, I believe. And my P.O. box is down there as well. Love getting fan mail. Makes my day. Makes my day. So if there's anything you want to send to a fellow Whovian, please, please, please send it on. Most importantly, thank you for watching.